What up, guys? It's your boy Quake, and today I'm going to talk about J. Cole, Mr. Double Platinum with no features, Mr. You Can't Outfart Me. And what I wanted to talk about is his latest release, the For Your Eyez Only album. To be honest with you, if you could tell by the title of the video, the album just came and went. I don't really hear anybody bumping the album. I don't hear too many of my friends listening to the album. Initially, when we first got a hint of when it's going to come out was when J. Cole dropped those two free records that didn't make it on the album. We thought we was going to make it on the album, but it didn't end up on the album. And it was False Prophets, and I believe the other one was Everybody Dies. And both those records were really hard lyrically and even instrumental wise. I liked it. He flowed all over it. He was obviously taking shots at people. On Everybody Dies, he was just taking shots at all these mumble rappers, a bunch of people. I mean, people thought he was talking about Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Yachty, pretty much anybody with a Lil name. Everybody thought that J. Cole was going at them. And then on False Prophets, which was my favorite, he goes at, allegedly goes at, J. Cole didn't himself say this, but the fans heard it and they knew what it was. He allegedly went at Wale and Kanye West because Kanye sort of fell from grace. I mean, J. Cole, previous and a lot of interviews, previous times, he would say he looked up to Kanye West. He would say Kanye West is his favorite. Sometimes that's what he would mumble those things here and there, and he got signed to Jay-Z, so it only makes sense. So with that being said, I mean, those two records were hard. Don't get me wrong. Those two records, when they first came out, were fire. I mean, I was bumping those I think it was a week before the album dropped, they came out. Might have been a little bit earlier than that, and I was expecting this album to be something crazy because I saw the album cover, and I was like, okay, For Your Eyez Only. You never know what the title means or anything. Now we know, obviously, but at the time when it came out, we had no idea. So when it dropped, I listened to the album, and it was a very cohesive album. I mean, from beginning to end, you got to listen to this album as a full project. You can't, to me personally, this is the way I feel about it. You can't just, listen to certain tracks like Immortal, which is one of my favorite tracks off the album, or Neighbors, or She's Mine, or whatever. You got to listen to it from top to bottom. I think it tells a great story. But I knew from the moment I started listening to it, it wasn't going to have longevity, at least for me. And when you look at, where we at now, we're in April 2017, and I don't know too many people that are actually bumping this album. That sucks to say, because his last three albums, to me, they were amazing. One of them is actually a classic, and I don't throw the word classic out there, lightly. I use that word if I really mean it. Nowadays people just throw the word classic like it's nothing, which I hate, but it is what it is. These younger kids nowadays. But I don't know. The first album, Cold World, loved it. Was it an amazing album? No. Was it a great album? Yeah. For the most part, most of the records were fire to me. I liked the way it started out. It had some nice singles. Nobody's Perfect. Workout. A lot of people didn't like because the hardcore J. Cole fans, they were used to warm up type of stuff, or Friday Night Lights and stuff like that. But yeah, that album was hard. And then when Born Sinner dropped, oh my God, I lost it. When that album came out, that shit was fire. I mean, complete fire from top to bottom. To me, that's the way I felt. I mean, you had just the whole, and that album, Born Sinner, and 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying. Those are the only two that I consider classics. And I know most people are gonna get mad at me for saying that, but me, I don't throw the word classic out lightly. That topic's for another video. What is exactly a classic album? But to me, that Born Sinner album is a classic. I can listen to it from top to bottom, no problem, every day. And years now, I mean, it dropped in 2013. And It's years. It's been 3 years now, approximately. Yeah, about to be 4 years since it dropped, because it dropped in summer in June 2013. So it's about to be 4 years, and I'm still listening to it. I'm still listening to records off that album. Power Trip is just one of my favorites. Even though it was a single, I know it's sounded more pop. I really liked it. Villuminati, that was, whew, my God, just starting the album out like that was just amazing, man. Just the second I heard that record, I was like, I knew this album's going to be fire. And it was, back to get on topic, but my point is, I'm a fan of J. Cole. So this latest album really, really disappointed me. Just a lot of, records that just didn't stick with me. Immortal was nice. Neighbors was nice too. Maybe Deja Vu, but that's about it. The rest of these records I can't listen to individually. I have to listen to the whole album in order to enjoy them. So with that being said, did the album come and go to you? Do you think the album is here do you think people are just catching on to it very late? Do you think people are just, maybe they're not understanding it? Because, sometimes great artists, their albums get appreciated a lot later on, like Nas's Illmatic. That took a while for people to appreciate. The people that first heard it probably really loved it, but now it's considered one of the greatest hip hop albums out. That's just known throughout all hip hop culture. So I don't know. To me, it came and went. To me, honestly, about 2 weeks I was listening to it, and then after that, I didn't really pay attention to it anymore. To be honest with you, I didn't pay attention to it anymore. I don't even think any music videos came off this project. I don't think J. Cole even cares about it, to be honest with you. He, with 2014 Forest Hills Drive, he set a bar that was, hard for him to either surpass or at least match. Going double platinum with no features, and then on top of that, releasing some great visuals and just being considered, that solidified him as like, okay, this guy's here to stay, and this guy's definitely one of the greatest of our newer generation. But this latest album, these records just don't do it for me. They do not do it for me. That's just my opinion. I think the album sort of came and went. And Drake's been having this issue too. Drake's been having his own problems, at least in my opinion, his own problems with this album. A lot of people have been critiquing the Views project and then this recent More Life project. I think these artists are sort of hitting their peak, and then eventually they're just going to sort of either decline or just stay at a good level, where like someone like Jay-Z, where he constantly releases good projects, which I can see them doing. I don't think they're just going to totally fall off. I don't see that happening. They're just too creative as artists, and I'm speaking on J. Cole, Kendrick, Wale, Drake, pretty much all the artists that came up from 2009, 2010. Those artists, I think, have all reached their peak. Hopefully this tour that's coming up and this HBO documentary that he's planning on premiering, I think, on April 15th, hopefully that does something for the album. Hopefully it gets people to listen to it again, excited about it again, and hopefully shoot some visuals for the album. I think that would help it out. I think what he should do is just shoot a whole movie for the album, which I think that's probably what the documentary is, to be honest with you. I think it's just going to be a whole movie for the album for each track. That would be a great idea, because this album sort of, it's a 10-track album and it tells a story. So like I said, you have to listen to each track in order to enjoy the whole album. You have to listen to the whole album. You can't, it's kind of hard to take tracks out and listen to them individually. That's the way I see it. And there's nothing wrong with that. A good storytelling album is great. You need that in hip hop. You need someone who can deliver a great album with top to bottom with a great story behind it. That's missing in hip hop. Nowadays it's just about the singles, turning it up and not really caring, because albums aren't selling, so that makes sense. I guess people just not putting in much effort because they're not selling. More people are looking for singles. More people are not interested in stories anymore, at least from what I'm seeing in terms of what's mainstream and pop, which I know in underground hip hop more people are interested in it. But to take it, J. Cole took it to a mainstream level, which is great. Same with Kendrick. They're more conscious rappers, so they took it to a more mainstream level. More people noticed conscious rappers after that. At least I think so. But that's my thoughts on it. let me know what you guys think. You guys think the album came and went? I mean, if you're a J. Cole fan like me, just be honest. Don't stan on here. Don't be an Eminem stan or something like that. And comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.